Hello everybody, this is Glory. Welcome to Alpha Home. Today in the series of Kali, we will be speaking about Yoni consciousness. And what is Yoni consciousness? So for people who do not know uh, what a Yoni is, a Yoni is defined as the female reproductive organ within the body of a woman, and it is not just the vagina, but it is the entire reproductive facilities, reproductive organs inside the human body of a female. So that's a bit about what the yoni is. So, anybody who has been in the path of any fierce feminine deity will pretty much understand what I am going to share today. So, the darker feminine energy in the Adya Kali Swarup sect or the cult are very much in the yoni consciousness, and I'll tell you why as we go ahead in the video. Yoni consciousness primarily is defined as a woman in the path of Kali who stays connected through her womb to the womb and the energy circuits of other feminine entities around her. It could be a human female around her, it could be a human animal but a female around her. It could also be the plants around her, which share primarily the nature is feminine in nature. So Prakriti, the outer Prakriti, is feminine in nature, and the inner Prakriti is also feminine in nature. So she will, irrespective, stay connected to each of these aspects. And why is that so? To understand this, let's understand what a woman's hormone goes through during her entire cycle every month. So as we all know, a woman quintessentially goes through a menstrual cycle, who are in that age bracket go through a menstrual cycle which triggers hormonal changes, quite swift hormonal changes within the bodies of every feminine entity that lives in this world. So the point or the day of the month where the estrogen and the progesterone within the body of the woman meets, that particular day or that particular few days or the window is when her body goes through the phase of ovulation. And science has now testified that that is the point or the few days, that is the window in a woman's hormonal cycle in that month, is when the woman's body creates the highest amount of testosterone. Now, I do not have to tell you that testosterone is a masculine hormone leading to extreme behavior of masculinity. Okay, so every Ugra deity are actually the synergetic balancing act of these two hormones. Uh, so Ugra deities are formed with Sangam. So, like they say, when Ganga and Yamuna meet, the Ida and Pingala, the solar and the lunar energies actually come together, and that is integration. That is uh, a very evolved state of Sushumna Nadi, our, the central nervous system. So it's not an imbalance. Testosterone in a woman is not a sign of imbalance. It is, however, quite natural to a man. Okay? And when a female has testosterone, she is not to be seen as a imbalanced state of nature, because within a woman's body testosterone does different things. It is the most fertile stage within the cycle of a woman. So why do we fear these Ugra deities who have such heightened state of Yoni consciousness? So they are always going to have the virility, the vitality, the radiance of testosterone on their face. So basically, when a woman ovulates, I'm sure you all are aware, her skin glows differently, her hair shines differently, she walks differently. Like she knows she owns this space, and there is a force that is quite magnetic around her. So this is the case with women. This is the case with darker feminine deities who are ugra. All ugra feminine deities are having heightened testosterone, and that is why a lot of Veera sadhana is mostly done by men who are in the path of warriorship or akhadas, actually worship these forms so that they can also embody some of these qualities. Okay, so where the solar and lunar energies are balanced, the vitality is at peak. This is when the vitality is at peak, testosterone is also at its peak, like I mentioned. So testosterone in man and a woman both is the awakening of Shiva Tattva. And this awakening of Shiva Tattva also happens within each woman. Okay? So Shiva or Bhairava is now inside this sort of a woman who has tapped into, who is graced with this window every month, that she can awaken the Shiva Tattva within her. She could find it outside also, but she could always, by the blessing of the energetic synergy within her body, she can awaken it. And thereby the Parabrahma is within a woman during the phase of ovulation. At this juncture, a woman is the most masculine. She's as good as a Veera. A Veera meaning a warrior. So, are you understanding the women around you correctly? Are you? Or you are merely scratching the surface? Because To understand the woman, you have to completely observe everything about her. And by that I mean every thing about her, every moment of her day, every phases that her body goes through, every hormonal changes that she goes through. That's a pretty difficult thing. Not difficult if you are moldable by nature, if you are a man who can mold according to her phases. It does not makes you less of a man. It only makes you more of a Veera, if I can put it that way, more masculine. If you have understood the feminine in her masculine, if I can make sense. So this entire secret of the creation is a woman's entire physicality. So she will always act as an yantra. So frivolous sexual encounters, or even thinking about, I know you would just laugh at what I'm saying, but frivolous encounters is not taken lightly by such deities, because they are connecting the woman's body to and making her the alpha womb. She is connected to the womb of the universe, that is Adya. And when I say that, I'm saying it out of my own experience. Like I time and again spoke about my experience, that once I got into the path, I wasn't aware of all this, by the way. It just eventually was like a transmission of a sort happened to me in my path. As I went ahead, I used to observe these things happening to me, and then suddenly everything made sense. Why? Oh, why? It just made sense. What was happening? Okay, that bit. I used to constantly get surrounded by women. Constantly, everywhere, left, right, center. They will call me, they will meet me, talk to, speak to me. They'll go back home. Again, I'll get a call. That sort of dependence. And sometimes, they'll good and bad, both ways. Okay? Go and watch my previous video. Good and bad, both ways. But these women will always come around you. It is not you. But once a woman is connected to such a fierce deity, their life will revolve around feminine energy, irrespective of anywhere you go. The alpha womb creates the matrix that connects every cell in my body, let's say, to every other woman who is around me. And sometimes there is an energetic synchronicity also, where she brings in woman according to her own elements. For example, I'll speak of my deity. My deity is Chinnamasta. She is my form. So she represents mostly the outer space. Outer space and everything where the sense organ in your face does not involve. She takes it completely off. She has cut her head, so headless. Fine. So what used to happen is I was surrounded by women who were either associated to some deity who was equally headless, like Khatu Sham. They would be devoted to him. It's energy. Please remember, it's all energy. In my office, or there, so my client where I was deployed was also heading the Department of Space Technologies in Odisha. Second, secondly, there was a lady who was working with me uh, in the same client space. Uh, she was a brain cancer survivor. Again, the head was not there, and all of these were women. All of these were energetic synchronicity to the same deity that I worship. Now, all one incident can be a coincidence, not all of them. Okay, but by the way, I did not realize all this. I only realized all this because it was her will. Maybe she made me see all of this with due course of time, not immediately, because she allowed me those, you know, flashbacks, so that one fine day I'll sit down and I'll connect and I'll see her grace, and my heart will be full of love towards her even more. That, you know, it always reinstates your belief in the deity also, that this is so mystical and magical in its own way. People who have experienced it will believe it. People who haven't, they'll keep searching for, you know, for the lack of a better word, they'll keep searching for, you know, jargons, flowy words, poetry. Well, that is also fine, but that is not what I am intending in my videos to speak about her. What I'm sharing is not separate to what I'm experiencing, okay? What I'm sharing is lived experience, is merely an iota of what I have experienced also. So it's quite relevant to my life. It is not a separate video that I make and I live a different life. That is why sometimes I give some examples, because I'm quite a very private person. I do not like revealing these things so much. So that's about how she connects you, how the womb gets connected. And sometimes I have seen during the emotions that they'll be feeling, I'll be sitting close to them or in the same office precisely. For no reason I'll go sad, and then I wouldn't know I never had a problem. For no reason I'll go sad, and the person, the lady would come to me and she'll share that since last 2 days she has been bothered with something mentally, and she'll just cry at a drop of the hat. She'll just cry to me and share her problem by her own choice. I don't ask anybody to share. So that's when I realized, okay, I was just feeling the pain from 2 feet away from me. It was not my problem. I was subconsciously tapping into someone else's energy 2 feet away from me. And it only happens to women because they say Papa Karma is somewhere kept in the karmic ledger. It is kept somewhere, but Punya Karma is completely wiped off because it's liberated then. It is nowhere in the ledger. But so every woman with wombs carry the burden of these Papa Karma. So, and through her Yoni, she gets connected to the cosmic Adya's Yoni, which is the Mahayoni, the womb of the universe, which is Prakriti. So, Prakriti, let's say, like she also feels the pain of the earthquake, or tsunami, everything. Similarly, it is a woman also takes the karmic weight of the entire bloodline into her womb. This is not just spirituality, this is true. And this is true because this example that I shared with you, I would be sitting in the same office, I would have no problem, but I could feel her because we were connected by that time. Our wombs were connected by that time. And like if you have studied the research where on menstruation, where women invariably catch cycles if they stay close to each other. So it's primarily because of yoni consciousness, because the yonis have a ability to weave each other through some invisible thread that you and me cannot see but feel. Women feel it. And uh, so a woman will inevitably wear the weight of society's pain through and through. And this is not weakness, it is her deep connection to Prakriti. It is her deep connection to the Adya Kali, to the Mahayoni, that is the nature, primordial nature that exists around. And what's a man's role now? The question is, what's the man's role? It is to liberate her. It is to become the Bhairava who observes a woman completely. Not as a savior, never as a savior, but that is not as a savior. I don't mean it like a virtue that he has to achieve or strive towards, okay? Because she's not a victim. That is how things are, okay? She is never a victim, because both of them carry certain responsibilities, which is dharmic in nature. One will carry the weight, the other one will liberate her. Sometimes, so Mahadeva, when he was dancing holding the charred body of Sati in his hand, wasn't the hero alone. She, Ma Parvati, and in that moment, Ma Parvati is also not a victim. Both of them were heroes. Okay? So, this dynamic of victim or a savior never existed in those planes, in their realm, and I don't think also exists now. It's very human and limited of us to think of someone as a victim and someone as a savior. It's just together they hold and balance the karmic weight of existence. Quite a deep video. I hope I could make sense. I will make a part 2 of this, how and while sharing snippet of my experiences, so that you get a little bit more clarity around this. Thank you.